What is up, everybody? I'm hoping you're all well. Yes, I did promise my first video would be my Blu-ray collection video, and although it took 4 hours with a very wonderful helper here, Jack, who helped me with that video, the file is too big for me to edit, so I will get back to you guys when I can. Up until now, I've finally seen my first movie of 2019. Well, actually, I saw The Favourite a few nights ago, but this is the first movie I'm reviewing for 2019.
He's so fucking unorganised.
Oh my god, you're one to fucking talk.
I mean, I'm taking a break for a reason, but dude. I have my reasons.
But you still have no schedule, even when you're actually on.
That is very true.
So fuck you.
Yeah.
So we're off to a great start. On with the review. So Colette is the latest true story movie based on Colette, who is one of the most influential literary authors in France. It's a British film. Shut up. It's a British film starring Keira Knightley and Dominic. Keira Knightley plays Colette in this movie. The story basically follows her and her husband. Her husband was very, I wouldn't really say abusive. I don't know much about the actual part of it, but he did lock her in a room to force her to write these stories for him. He was not a very intelligent. Well, he's an intelligent man, but not when it comes to his own writings. He has the ideas for most of his stories, but he gives them to other writers to write down, and then pretty much takes the credit for it. Whereas Colette's stories were all about her life. It was all about her. He just helped with making notes to make sure it had a cohesive story. Other than that, it's all Colette's work. However, once again, he takes all the glory, and it comes to a point where Colette is asking for her name to be put on with him, but he refuses, and then she comes to start to learn that she should really fight for what she wants, for her own voice, essentially. This movie was interesting.
It was interesting, because obviously, I'll have to point this out, I did used to live in France for a bit, so it was quite interesting, because the thing is, it never rung any bells until I started watching the film, because I had to learn about this in history when I lived in France. I actually read the book that it mentions at the end. It mentions her book that she first released in her name. I think the pronunciation is Vagabond if you're in the UK. It's actually a really good book, surprisingly. Like if you're into French literature or you can get it translated, I recommend checking it out. It's actually quite interesting. But her story is quite sad. It's a sad story.
It's a sad story. It's a fascinating story, but it is a
amazing.
sad story.
There's a lot of lesbian stuff in it, which is absolutely fine in my books. Because I'm just that alone. Literally, me and Josh were. This is sad as fuck because we are lonely motherfuckers. I just realised. Can I just point this out?
Go ahead.
Your channel, like when you do your own reviews, it's absolutely fine. You may swear every once in a while. I come on it and you get like 5 F-bombs in the first 3 seconds.
Normally, yeah. I've also noticed that I can barely talk when I'm actually with you as well. I've noticed that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll stop being movie madness for a minute then. But no, it's quite an interesting story.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story, and one that I didn't know anything really about. I didn't know what I was going into when I saw this film. All I saw was a poster. It had Keira Knightley in it. It looked like a period piece. Other than that, I knew nothing about it. So it was fascinating getting to learn this story about Colette, who was fighting for her voice. She's a very strong-minded person anyway. She fights for what she believes in. She's not afraid to voice her opinions, which in this time was very dangerous. So in fact, she was a very strong character, and she portrayed very well by Keira Knightley. I thought Keira Knightley gave a very good performance in this movie, especially towards the end with the monologue that she has, which we really were impressed by.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. I'd have a hard agree. I think because obviously I know you. I didn't dislike the film, but I know you enjoyed it more than me. Yeah. For reasons we'll get into later. But I thought that the acting was amazing. The acting was good, and obviously the story is quite an interesting story, especially since it's pretty much obviously something. It's a true story with over dramatised. That's the thing you've always got to think in.
That's what always happens. It will
be over dramatised. It's a fact. But no, the acting was, and obviously it's a great story, but the acting was just really, really good. Like you were saying, that monologue is just It was. I think that's one of the best performances Keira Knightley's done. I'm just a bit upset in some film that I didn't get to enjoy as much.
Yeah. Oh, going straight to reacting, we're going to the negatives in a bit. Dominic West as well plays her husband. Again, another very good performance. The rest of the supporting cast are all very good. I believe it's Fiona Shaw. If I'm wrong, I'll probably put it down here to say that I'm a fucking idiot. No, she wasn't the American. She played her mum. And crap, yeah. I actually wish I'd seen more of her relationship with her mum and dad for reasons that I won't go into detail about due to spoilers, but you don't see them as much as you hope, and when a certain thing happens in the movie it doesn't hold as much emotional value as it probably should have done. And now going on to the negatives about the film, as fascinating as this movie is and as good a story as I feel like this movie is to be told, and it's definitely a good one for women out there to like learn how to overcome certain obstacles to actually voice their opinions and not be afraid to do so. This movie could have been done better, I think. Its execution was a bit poor. I won't say terrible. It's not a terrible film at all. It's just a little underwhelming when you look at the story that they have and the way they actually ended up taking the story in the film.
It was very, like, obviously, because I'd known the story before, so I was wanting to see if there was anything I missed out. I wanted to see what they did as an interpretation of it when I started getting into film. But there was only 2 real scenes.
Yeah, you meant there were 2 scenes.
There was like 2 or 3 scenes that really, really gripped me. Obviously, there was the bit at the end of Colette with her final monologue. Near the end, I really enjoyed that. That was the best part of Keira Knightley's acting alone. But the other 2 scenes that got me is there's this scene where one of the characters gets really overexcited. It's the husband. He's really happy. They're all drinking. It's like a party.
The book's
kind
a massive
scene.
big seller. They've done something that basically gets their book even higher up on the ranks of being a bestseller. Again, no details due to spoilers.
And he's loving. He's loving life. He's on table. He's dancing. I enjoyed that scene a lot because it was enjoyable. It was refreshingly different than the rest of the mood of the film, because the rest of the movie was like, oh, we're having fun, but there's going to be consequences along with everything that we're doing, where that scene was just, I'm having fun. And the other scene that gripped me is there is a scene with a certain character, and there's a lot of lesbian sex and affairs, but like, that is all interesting anyways. Well, I say interesting, it's all like, wow, what the fuck, I didn't expect to see this in the cinema. But the way that they edited it and the way it was written made that not just, oh, it's a lesbian sex scene, I'm a dude, I like that. It was oh, that's a lesbian sex scene, but that reason actually is quite interesting.
It's actually done with care. It wasn't done in a way to just show a sex scene for the sake of, there's more than likely going to be one that women go and see, so it's going to be one that men, if they're going to watch it, we're going to throw this in for them. It's not done like that at all. It's there for a reason, and it's done for storytelling purposes, and it is done with respect for the women of the story. Yeah,
it was very, like, I walked into the film before it started. The 2 things I said to Josh was, please, for the love of God, don't be a extremist film. I'm all for the feminist films. Like, they're not films that I would personally watch, but they're needed. They are very much like, and this is a very well needed film.
I was going to say, I think going on to the feminist part is one definitely for feminists. I personally am a feminist. I believe in equal rights for men and women. And,
I think we're all stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. The human race is idiotic. What I don't agree with is feminazis, people who take women who take it too far and accuse all men of being monsters and rapists and sexist. I don't believe in those type of people. It's just men and women are supposed to be equal, which Colette actually addresses in a sort of way. She's not asking to be more than her husband. She's just asking for her name to be put on their works together. Not once does she ask for more. She asks to be equal to him. And that's where I think it's very important for feminists to see this film as well, and even women to see this film. Even men as well. It is one of those sort of powerful things to actually see how low women were treated back then, and how their name, just the fact that they're a female, could destroy their career even. Another thing about this movie is it felt very bland, not only just for story wise. It is a bland film in the sense that it's quite dark around. She's got a pretty dark and miserable life, with moments of happiness sprinkled here and there, but it is quite a sad story, as we've said before. But the colour palette for this movie, I don't know if it was the screen we were in, but it just looked quite bland and boring. Like, the colour grading wasn't as vivid as I was expecting it to be.
It weren't even, like, intentional kind of done, because obviously, like, when you look at the film, everything has been done for, well, usually everything's been done for a reason, from the colour palette to what the people are wearing to how much makeup some person's wearing.
A prime example for it would be the original Old Boy. Original Old Boy, when they do a flashback sequence, the colour palette changes to signify this is a flashback and this is what you're seeing, whereas the rest of the movie, although quite dark, it still has some very vivid colours here and there, but again, all done intentionally. This movie didn't seem to have that intentional bland lighting that they were going for. It just seemed that sort of way throughout the entire film.
It was just kind of like the set designer and like couldn't get into contact with anyone who could get bright colours, and then the costume designer was really struggling to get like a costume that was bright and colourful, because literally, hands down, the only colourful thing, like, don't get me wrong, all the costumes match the time and they're all very good, but there was only...
The production design was really good for this film.
There was only 2 costumes of Keira Knightley's that were even remotely bright. There was a yellow one at the beginning and a red one that she literally seen in for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, there's only 2 bright colours. Oh, that and this American woman's hair.
Oh, yeah, that was very bright.
That was very bright, but there was also a lot of things that were like capturing people's attention.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of things will be capturing men's attention involving that woman. Yeah. Men,
watch this film, and women, watch this film, because you both have an equal right to stare at boobs. No, honestly, but I do think that it's a film that everyone needs to watch, but I don't think it's a film that everyone will revisit.
No, it's definitely not one that I'll revisit. Like, I found the story fascinating, and I'd definitely recommend for people who haven't seen it to definitely check it out at least once. Which, like, I recommend it to you guys. Definitely check this movie out at least once. If these movies aren't your thing, you will be pretty bored, but the story itself is a fascinating one to hear about. And if you don't want to watch the movie, then at least just read up about Colette's life, because it is something that I think should be known.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. I mean, it's literally like one of heartache, but it is a beautiful story nonetheless.
It really is. The directing for the movie as well, I thought, was pretty good as well. It wasn't amazing. It looked like it was done with care for the characters. However, I noticed thinking about it more while I was at work afterwards. It spans a good few years. Like, it spans a good while. Yeah. And I noticed that the movie itself is just under 2 hours long. It felt very slow in that sort of sense, pacing wise, but it also felt very rushed when it was rushing through the moments in her life, if that makes any sense.
It kind of looked like, it's kind of like if a film version did a photo album, like one of them like ones that your mum would make you, like as a New Year present.
Yeah.
Kind of like it was showing snippets, main snippets, meaty snippets that they could make into a film.
There were important snippets.
Oh, yeah, but it just felt like it was almost like looking at a picture with how quickly everything went sometimes. Yeah. But it was, like you said, a really slow-paced film. Like, I love the story of Colette. It's a great story, but I literally nearly got caught sleeping twice.
Yeah, you almost fell asleep twice. You watched the entire film, you didn't actually close your eyes.
Oh yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Close to nodding off.
I like the story and I love the acting, but it's not my type of film, and if it doesn't grasp my attention and something happens... plus I had 2 old fucking ladies next to me, which the first thing I hear out of their mouth is, "Oh, my back's like a brick." Oh,
what was it they said when the second few sex scenes came
there was
on?
With the first set of lesbian/affair sex scenes were happening. The first one happens, and you're like, right, okay, it makes sense for the story, but it's all to do with Colette's life, so it has to go in. And then it shows you snippets of her and another character visiting this American woman, but as soon as Keira Knightley first starts walking up to this person's house, one of the old ladies went, "Oh, Jesus Christ, not again." I was just like, for fuck's sake. Just
You're at it again, Barbara.
Bloody hell, Barb, you're at it again. Put your flange away, there's kids here.
We weren't talking throughout the entire film, though, which is a good thing.
No, they weren't Sam Bates, so that was good. The one thing that annoys me about films like that is I always worry. Like, it's the one thing that's always made me worry about watching films with you, is that me and you don't really talk through films unless it's for comedic purposes.
Oh yeah.
Like, as soon as a lesbian scene happened, we're like,
oh yeah, straight away.
Like, I've never heard Josh ever talk to me in a film before, Unless it's a genuinely bad film,
that's
Josh never really speaks to me during a film. But I like that. Like, odd time, I will go up to him, like, in case he's gone to the toilet and there's a bit where I can tell him something's happened or stuff like that. But I don't genuinely talk to Josh because we both have an understanding that you're not supposed to talk.
We both remain invested in the film, even though we may not be like fully invested in the film. Like, Jack wasn't fully invested. It could have been very easy for him to just talk to me and pull me out of the film, but he wouldn't do that out of respect.
No, you are a movie guy. Like, you've seen this fucking wall. Like, you can tell he don't get anything.
Like Netflix on a shelf.
Yeah, you can tell. Like, now I've just got a figure of just like your face being like Netflix, and then. But going back to the thing, but I appreciate. But I think it also speaks, in a way, about the film that me and you both willingly spoke to each other during the film. Yeah. You, of all people, that was the thing. Literally, you know, when you did that, it took me a second to register it, because the thing is, say we'll switch places just for my view of what happened. Right, so I'm sat there, I'm leaned back at like this far back. I'm kind of literally, until the boobs came out, I was there, and I just sat up a bit like this. I was like, right.
So am I supposed to be in this situation?
Yeah, you're being me. So you're leaned back a bit, but you've just realised the sex scene's coming up, so you're a little bit interested. Josh is leaning like this, watching the film, and immediately all I see is smash. But it took me a second to register, because I was like, wait, did Josh just speak during a film? Like, I genuinely thought someone was going to put a bullet in my brain. I thought that was the end of my life. I thought literally I'd never see that.
It never happens again, unless it's for comedic purposes.
Oh, yeah.
Smash.
Which was something that... Josh, can you get this on Blu-ray?
Of course. I don't really want to, but... Right, can I swap back? I feel weird in this, but I always like my side.
It feels quite
I've always
strange.
got my own side.
I'm always used to being on your left.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the film.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
It's because I haven't worked out much, so I need to check if I've still got... I'll look alright. Okay, carry on.
Okay.
It's a low point, Josh. Shut the fuck up.
It's alright. You'll get back into it. So overall, Colette is a very fascinating movie. Definitely one that you should check out, I feel, just for the story. It may not grip all of you. It wasn't fully gripping to me. It's still an enjoyable film. It has enjoyable parts here and there. Slow-paced, but also feels quite rushed at the same time. Again, didn't know if that made any sense. I hope you guys actually make sense of that. It makes sense to me. Overall, though, I think I'm going to give Colette 3 stars.
Not bad. Just because of it didn't grip me as much, especially since it weren't my type of film, I'm personally going to give it a 2-star. I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm saying I understand completely why other people think. I think, trust the person who likes all types of genre. Trust Josh's opinion more than mine. I just don't like that genre of film, which is why mine's lower. So basically, I respect that people may like this film that I nearly fell asleep in apart from boobs. Quality. Oh yeah.
So, Colette, have you guys seen it yet? What do you think about it? Whatever you thought, let me know in the comment section below. It feels so good to say that after so long. Not gonna lie, it feels really good.
Come on. I'm proud of you.
So happy to be back. Yeah, thanks as always for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you want to see more videos just like this one, then subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks again to the LIMA now for joining me in this review. I will be doing reviews on my own again, don't worry about it, although I've had like 3 collaborations in my first 3 videos. I will be on my own at some point again.
I just live here, dude. Like, you can just grab me. I might not even watch the film, and you can just grab me for 3 seconds.
Might not have seen it, just have you sit down and just say something dumb.
That's what I mean. I'm pretty much just a fucking human jukebox. You just put like attention into me and I speak. It's not even money anymore. It's just
attention.
It's just attention.
So I just need to stop paying attention to you and you'll leave me the fuck alone.
Alright, I'll see how it is.
Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.